what's up, guys? Welcome back to another video here. If you guys haven't seen from the title, we are going to discuss a discovery call and how you guys should approach this discovery call, okay? What we're going to be looking for is tonality, the key things that I've made mistakes on, why this call has not gone, spoiler alert, has not gone to a closing call, and how we can better resolve these issues moving forward for our next calls, right? So, without further ado, guys, it's gonna be 23 minutes. Let's get into it.
How are you?
Yeah, pretty good. It's you're over there in Florida, right?
I'm in New York, actually.
New York. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, it looks pretty sunny out there right now.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. I'm Carrick.
First of all, please don't say this anymore. Oh, it's so beautiful out there. I think I've said this and I low-key cringed at myself at this. And I was like, bro, what the fuck are you saying? So, it's not a big thing. It's not a big deal, but just like, it's not necessary.
Uncharacteristically beautiful day today. So,
okay.
Yeah, we've been getting the whole spectrum for the past several weeks. So,
heck yeah, awesome. Yeah, I'm over here in Texas. It's been like raining like the whole week, and it's finally sunny outside. So, yeah. But cool. I know you were busy. Appreciate you for taking the time to jump on today. I know we had a call
as you can clearly see, he does not give a flying fuck.
Well, right. So obviously I have my notes put up here, but yeah, I mean, honestly, before we dive in, right, I know we have about 20 to like 25 minutes here-ish today. So obviously, the goal of today's call is just keep it pretty simple. And it's to just honestly like go a little bit more in depth to like understand your operations a little bit more clearly, see if we're able to help out on your, on what you're looking to optimize. And if it makes sense, we can definitely move further. If not, we can definitely end up on good terms at the end of this call here, if that sounds fair to say.
Very good. Very good.
Perfect. So yeah, let me just pull up my notes here. So I know you mentioned that you were essentially not running any marketing at the moment, but like you were just kind of like essentially relying on referrals and pre-existing clients. Is that correct?
That's not entirely true. I do marketing with yard signs. I get a satchel of yard signs and I put them up in locations all across the region over here. I have Angie's List, which I've been on for about 8 years now. I actually tried to quit and they offered to let me stay on for free without paying yearly dues. So that was a no-brainer. It's a good online presence. And I'm also experimenting with Yelp Business, if you're familiar with that.
Yeah, like when people search you up like around their area and then you pop up on like the first.
Yep. Okay. And I can always pause that. I kind of use that as I need it, but I haven't really needed it, but I'm trying it out anyways right now. So there's a couple facets of the marketing program for my very simple window cleaning business.
Okay, gotcha. And I don't like assuming things here, but are you handling the majority of this yourself, or do you have like a team that's like essentially handling this for you, like at the moment right now?
The administrative side, I'm handling all of it. Okay. I take the calls, I take the emails, I take the complaints, I take it all.
Okay, gotcha. So, but you have like the fulfillment. You have people that do the fulfillment, correct? You have technicians as well, or?
I don't. I have a few people. It's a very small business. A few people in rotation. It's usually me and another person doing the actual work, and then me doing all the administrative things as I go.
As you progress,
I just keep up with it.
Okay, gotcha. So it's very minimal then. Like as you progress, right now it seems it's like pretty minimal. You're doing everything yourself essentially, but you essentially want to like obviously scale to that next level. Is that correct?
It makes me curious to scale to that next level. Do I want to? A phrase comes into mind. The what am I trying to think of? Diminishing returns. Are you familiar with that concept? So
yeah, I am.
So far, it's going pretty good. So yeah.
You get so big, and then things are going great. You got a 2-man skeleton crew. The phone's ringing. You're booking. You're busy. That's great. Then I decide, I think in my head, wow, I could get busier. Then I'd have to hire more people. And my overhead goes up. And then I start to realize maybe I would be putting all this extra administrative effort into obviously more sales. But what is my take home at the end of all that? Does that change? And there's a bit of a threshold that you can kind of dance with when you're a small business owner like I am. But you better not get too hungry because you'll swallow yourself whole kind of thing.
Correct. Yeah, like as you grow, obviously as you grow, there's new problems that come. And as you grow, new problems that come. Yeah. Okay.
You'll be doing more volume, but will you be making more, take home? My take home pay is important to me, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't want to have too much liability with having another crew working, and that kind of concerns me getting to that level. But is there an opportunity there? Absolutely. If done correctly, that would be very interesting to me.
Okay, gotcha. So I know you. Let me see here. So I have it down here on my notes. I never really asked. I mean, is this something that you're doing full time, or is this like a part time thing right now that you're eventually looking to go to full time?
It's full time, but season. So I go pretty hard from April till Thanksgiving.
Okay, and then it kind of like slowly dies down after Thanksgiving since it's like winter. Is that right?
It sharply dies down after Thanksgiving.
Okay, gotcha. And how long have you been like experiencing like the same like operations for? Like, I mean, I guess you can say like when did you start the business essentially?
Back in 2016, I started the business. I've been taking it more seriously for the past 4 years. It was just a side hustle for a little extra money, and then it just kind of.
Keyword: side hustle. So what that pretty much means is that, he didn't really take this serious, but now he's pretty serious on that. So he's kind of in that transition period where it's like, okay, I need to go into this full time, or what else am I going to do?
Snowballed from there.
Okay, gotcha. So you've been doing pretty much like the exact same like operations, administrative work, like for the past, I guess you can say 4 years.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that'd be safe to say.
Okay, gotcha. So I guess obviously this was back in 2022 then. Did you ever like ever thought about like optimizing or doing something else besides like, just traditional yard signs, Angie leads, just relying on referrals, or has that never really like come into fruition for you?
I briefly tried SEO and it was too busy.
Too busy.
I couldn't keep up with it. It was, it's a good sign that that's an option, but as soon as I, pulled the trigger on that, I was at the point where I was scheduling people 7 to 9 weeks out. And as a window cleaning business, people don't really want to hear that. They want to hear that you're going to be able to care within 2 weeks. Yep. Otherwise, there's a dissatisfaction. There's getting that busy it's great that it's possible, but is it practical? I don't think so for my operation, at least not right now.
Okay, gotcha. So you were like essentially feeling overwhelmed from like the clients or the leads that were coming in from just the Google SEO.
Absolutely.
Okay, gotcha. That's not really a problem on our end. We can definitely match, how many more clients you're able to take on. So I guess my question here is, how many clients are you bringing in right now, like at the moment?
It fluctuates, but I would, if I had to guess, during the peak of the season, I get an average of 2 to 3 new clients per day.
Okay. And
I don't know, I'm very straightforward. I'm very honest. I have a fair enough price. I'm usually landing about, 2 out of 3 of those every time they call. I'd say out of 10 people that call me, 6 to 7 of them will hire, which is right where I want to be. Right where I want to be.
No, definitely. So I guess like in terms of leads and clients per month, right? I know you mentioned that you're open to bringing in new leads as well, new clients, right? Taking on new clients. But sure. So I guess like my question here is like, is there like a specific benchmark number you're trying to like reach, or like a number of jobs like per week or per month you're trying to aim for like at the moment?
I would like to do 3 houses a day.
Okay. How many houses are you doing a day right now? Like 1 or 2?
Today we did 3. But most of the time I would say it's 2. Okay. So that's really good. That's really good revenue either way. If I could make that more consistent, that would be the goal. And I'm there. I've been working. So, my strategy is very simple. Just treat people well. Yeah. Pick up the phone. Be straightforward. Be itemized in your approach to estimates, so it makes sense. Yeah. And I know I'm a little bit more expensive than some of the competition around here, but people like the presence of it all. Yeah. The personal connection. And we have a great track record on our reviews. Our online presence is very. It's just been very kind to Dan's Window Cleaning. So
okay, gotcha. So yeah, it sounds like you guys have a really good reputation. Are most of your leads, or I guess clients that are coming in right now, like are they from just referrals and like pre-existing clients, or do you get like a majority from like Angie leads, or just like from just those traditional marketing tactics like those yard signs?
I would say most of them are from the yard signs. The second best would be from the word of mouth. With when we do a nice job on how many new customers. We had 1 new customer today. What will usually happen is they'll tell 5 of their friends how awesome we did. Yeah. 2 of them will end up calling me, and then 2 of them usually those referrals end up hiring because they're just happy with the result, or we're having cocktails at the person's house. Oh my God, your windows are so clean. It's so simple. It's such a simple business. And I worry about bringing on a company like yours because we're just so. A window cleaning business is not. It's probably the most simple of the service. We don't have to quote. Like a landscaping company would have to come in and figure out where they're going to put the mulch bed. I can just come in and however many windows you have, how difficult they are, I give you the price. I can figure it out in 2.5 minutes usually when I'm at somebody's house. Simple.
Yeah, and that's exactly why that's exactly what we do here. We want to make sure that everything is simple and streamlined, right? So I guess like is most of your time going to so you say most of your time is going to like the administrative side of like business, right? Or is it like
the work takes the majority of the time. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So I guess have you ever like tried to optimize like the administrative work, like not by hiring in like another person, but just kind of like having it more streamlined and like automated? That way you're not really focusing on like the administrative side, and like you mentioned, you can focus more on like the sales and like the fulfillment. If that makes sense.
It's been on my mind to try to figure out how to shave some time off of these processes. I get to the point where even picking up the phone is just I'm too busy. I get to that point where I'm just like I got another one, and then it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, for sure.
It certainly gets overwhelming. And I know I'm missing opportunities on those days that I'm like so busy, I got to call somebody back in an hour. That's not terrible, but a lot of people, you know how people are. They're just like, oh, if he didn't pick up, I'm gonna call the next.
Yeah.
Somebody on the list,
Yeah, and we've seen like the first person that you typically answer the phone whenever someone calls typically has a higher success rate of actually booking that appointment or like
client. Right? So getting back to a lead right away, it looks amazing.
Yeah,
people have a psychological thing. It's like all these people are on top of their game,
Yeah, exactly. So let's do this. Let me share you my screen because obviously I know we're on this call for me to give you for me to give you a better visual understanding. I know you're on your phone, so the screen might be a little small, but
that's okay.
That you have good eyesight, or you can zoom in. So, okay, cool. So let me know if you're able to see my screen here.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So obviously, just to give you some clarity, everything that we do here is essentially custom, right?
Okay, so before I kind of move on, I want to just tell you guys that sometimes less is more. You know, don't always ask too many questions. It's more about like quality, right? Quality over quantity. So you want to make sure sometimes, well, I mean, specifically for this, you want to have more quality over quantity, because at the end of the day, it's not how many questions you ask. It's about like what the questions or how important the questions are when you ask them, right? So overall, solid. Could have been a little bit more better, but we'll keep on going.
There's not like like a specific offer that we built out just for a specific client, just because everyone has their own separate unique systems in place, unique, amenities, as well as like everything else is just like tailored towards their business, which is completely different from a different business, right? So that's why everything that we do here is essentially custom. But like we talked about, it doesn't seem like it's more of a volume issue, because you're already getting clients coming in. You don't want to be too overwhelmed to the point where like there's too many clients to handle, and you don't want to have them just go away, or you don't want to just like leave them out on the table, right? Because it seems like you're comfortable at where you're at, as well as you're open to taking in new clients, but you just don't want to take in too much to the point where you're overwhelmed. So essentially, what we talked about, it seems like it's more like a time constraint. Then obviously, I know you've mentioned that you're typically handling all the administrative work, handling complaints, handling phone calls. I assume you're also handling invoices, estimates, and quotes, right? So
everything.
Yeah, exactly. So, and obviously on top of that, you're also doing fulfillment, client, and then sales. So obviously that's a lot of time that goes throughout your day. And obviously the administrative work, you can definitely limit that factor and focus on other things that will move the needle forward within the business, right? So this is essentially how this system would work, tailored towards your business, right? So it's more of like a complete CRM build out plus an automated SMS and email system, right? So what we're essentially doing here is kind of, I'll take you to pillar one right here, right? So what we're basically doing is we're essentially building you out a completely custom, like done for you CRM, kind of like a client success, success manager, right? More like a client database that you're able to track every client on. Not sure if you're using any other system right now, like Jobber or HouseCall Pro, but this is essentially custom tailored towards your business, right? And then what we're also going to do is we're essentially going to customize all the outreach for you. So you mentioned that you're handling all like the complaints. We'll be essentially having an AI personal assistant handle all those complaints for you, right? Now, if there is a specific complaint that only you can essentially answer, that's when the AI can essentially retarget and just pretty much reach out to you, letting you know that, look, this is a specific question for you that you need to answer, right? But like every other question, like, oh, like I thought you said you guys are coming at like 4, but it's 4:05. Those type of complaints, right? Obviously, I know you get those a lot. So obviously, we can essentially have like your own personal assistant built out within your system, within our system that we give to you, or we build out for you, to make sure that we limit all those like unnecessary tire kicker questions, and you only answer the ones that are actually something that needs your attention. If that makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. And then, like I said, we'll definitely edit and make adjustments before launching the whole system, making sure that everything works, right? Automating invoices, right? Whenever a job is complete, instead of you having to go into your computer or you having to go into your iPad and sending out those invoices manually, we can just essentially have that done right when you guys are finished at the, right when you guys are finished booking on the job or finishing the job with the client, right? So that's all automated, as well as also retargeting clients as well, right? I know you mentioned that you have a great reputation, lots of referrals, lots of pre-existing clients. So I assume you have a good historical database, right? What we've seen is most people try to always target new leads, but they're missing out on opportunities from the historical data by not reaching out to older clients from the past that haven't booked up recently, right?
I'm already noticing that.
Yeah, exactly. So what we can also essentially do is we can have that all automated.
So what we're essentially doing is we're showing him like what he's missing out on, right? And it seems like he's kind of understanding, and you want to make sure that the lead understands everything, right? And it seems like he is understanding that there is problems that he has that need solving that we can help him out with.
And so instead of you having to reach out to them manually, right, going on your computer, trying to second guess, like, did I even, when was the last time I cleaned these guys, these people's windows, or when was the last time they, booked on with me? Instead of second guessing that, we can essentially just, automate messages and follow up sequences to make sure that, hey, this is Dan's window cleaning. Just figured, it's been a while since you got your windows cleaned. So kind of like following up with them automatically instead of you having to do all that all manually yourself, right? And then pillar 2 is more like, obviously setting up like SMS and email campaigns. Making sure that we tailor the marketing campaigns, to help you book on more leads, or also help you, save more time on the administrative side. We also have an automation where we can also help you prevent no-shows and cancellations. Just from hearing, just from this conversation alone, it doesn't really seem like you have a lot of no-shows and cancellations. Is that correct? Or
very correct? Yes.
Okay, gotcha. So that's a good thing. And then we can also essentially, like I said, right, we can reactivate older clientele within your historical database, and we can pretty much convert them into new bookings as well if they haven't booked on recently. Uh-huh. Right. And on top of that as well, right? I'll kind of come back here and show you like our other offer. I know you also mentioned that you're handling all the phone calls yourself, right? Well, we also have like an inbound AI voice like assistant as well. So whenever someone calls you, obviously it's going to get redirected to you first, right? But let's say you're not able to get to the call, we can essentially have an AI assistant help them out or help the lead, the potential client out when you're not able to get to the phone call, right? Now, you can either have that set up before or after. So let's say, honestly, for us, from just prior experience, we've seen more conversions of like clients just clicking on whenever you don't pick up, and it's and the AI pretty much takes over the phone call, right? Just because there's more like personal experience and personal personalization into that, right? Because obviously, if an AI picks up the phone or you call someone and AI picks up the phone, it essentially like erases that personalization touch, that personalized touch. Correct.
Yeah.
So that's essentially what we can do, right? So we can have this set up for you, but whenever you're not able to get to the phone call, now you know that, oh, I didn't miss out on this opportunity. I have someone else to take care of this for me, which is your personal assistant, right? So that's another thing we can also implement within the system or what you're dealing with right now, right? It seems like I said, it's not really a lead issue. It's not really a volume issue. It's more of like just making sure that you spend more time on the necessary things to help the business move or help the business move that needle forward further, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess with everything I show you, do you feel like this is what you're looking for, or do you feel like this is something that
I am ambivalent. I have mixed feelings on whether I'd want to adopt some of these processes to such a simplified business and take away that personal touch that people have grown accustomed to. But I also understand that you need to take chances and try new things. And a lot of the times your concerns that you have about trying those new things end up being alleviated once you see how well it's working.
Yeah, 100%. And I know you mentioned that you've thought about it before, but really never taken action upon it, right? Which is fine. Don't get me wrong. It's like you mentioned, it's a very simplified business. So obviously adding things on a very simple, like you've heard the saying, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? Yeah, exactly. So obviously, adding things into adding custom aspects into a simplified business does have, some things to it. But at the end of the day, right, you're just gonna have to kind of think about the long-term vision, right? Do you really want to be all this yourself 5 years down the line? Probably not, right? obviously, you want to essentially operate a business that's kind of running on autopilot, which is the long term, right? So is that what's your main goal in terms of running Dan's Wonderpoint? Are you looking to kind of scale out?
It's a side hustle that turned into a monster. So every day I think about,
So again, I believe this is a little bit of a listening issue for me, where I didn't really listen to in depth. So I kind of asked the same question, but not the same question. I guess I asked the same question, but just kind of reworded. So yeah, definitely make sure to listen better, because you don't want to make people say the same thing twice again.
I have these big swinging days like I did today. For instance, I think to myself, oh my gosh, if I could just consistently make as much money as I made today, 5 days a week, 52 weeks out of the year, there'd be so many more opportunities. I would have to do so many different things. It's just, it's turned into something I never expected to. So,
and that's a good thing though, if you really think about it.
It's a great thing. And being a seasonal business is a bit of a caveat where, okay, you're going to invest into all these processes to have for a business that only operates for 7 or 8 months out of the year. So what would I do to kind of fill in that time when everything shuts down, in the winter months? I just end up picking up a part-time job to keep myself busy. Honestly, I'm a huge snowboarding buff, so I'm trying to go to Japan this February. It's just, that's what I prefer to be doing in the winter. But I know there's other opportunities there. I just never expected to be sitting here in this situation that I'm in right now. It's amazing.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's just getting, where I'm at is that it's getting more overwhelming to do with a skeleton crew like I have right now. I can control that. I can set up a voicemail. I know you've called me several times trying to sell me this product.
Yeah.
You've probably heard my voicemail. I have a design where if I don't pick up the phone, I can they're usually texting me. I can check in with them around dinner time. But it gets old after 4 or 5 months of that. By Thanksgiving, I'm like, oh my God, it's over. I don't want to feel that. I want to be like, wow, wouldn't it be better if I was like, wow, everything's running smooth. Oh my gosh, I opened up this portal from this CRM management. I don't even know the jargon, but oh wow, I have all these jobs booked that I didn't even really have to talk to anybody. I just have jobs booked now. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah. So I guess is window cleaning your only specific offer, or do you also do pressure washing, any gutter cleaning, or because that can also fill. Yeah, go ahead.
We do gutter cleaning, and we'll do. We don't do pressure washing just yet. I actually have something germinating where I'm trying to work with a few builders. I do some work in the winter months. I just stay busy with a few friends of mine that have construction companies, and they all like the way that I manage. I guess I've been labeled the smoother talker out of the group.
Yeah.
And they all kind of want to. There's a few ideas germinating to keep us all busy in those months.
Okay.
But those are just very on the drawing board kind of ideas right now.
Okay, gotcha. So with everything being said, right, just for some clarity and context, right, I know you mentioned that it's not like the business right now isn't to the point where it's too overwhelming, but you also don't want it to get too overwhelming to the point where you're turning back on clients, right? Or you're
I don't want to get it to the point where I can't keep up with it, and then it looks terrible if I don't call people back.
Yeah.
Imagine this: a guy like me is like, oh my gosh, I can take on way more work, and then I sign up with a search engine optimization company, and all of a sudden I'm getting 27 phone calls a day.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
On top of what you're doing as well.
On top of what I'm already doing, 27 additional leads per day or something, which it wasn't that crazy, but it was to the point where I wouldn't have a life if I had to keep up with all that, and I would have needed another truck going and another crew doing that, which I do not have the capability to do right now. But it was interesting. It was a very interesting insight as to, wow, if I could handle all of this, I have a solution to get that busy. I didn't expect it to be so potent of a means to to get new leads, and it just kind of turned into a monster. And I cut the cord on that and kept doing what I've been doing, and I've been able to keep my schedule pretty packed from April till Thanksgiving, which is my goal.
Okay, gotcha.
So, and I know I seem a little scatterbrained. It's just because I don't quite know what to tell you about what direction I'm heading in. My goal is simple. I want to make X amount of dollars per day. I have a quota in my head. I try to make that, and if I'm making it, great. If I don't make it, I make a few adjustments, and usually within like a week or so, I can get it back to the threshold that I want it to.
Yeah.
And I try to control the tempo, just like that.
Okay, gotcha. So it seems like you're pretty satisfied at where you're at. It seems like, but obviously you're also not opposed to bringing in new business as well. Like not too much, but like to the point where it's not too overwhelming, essentially.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Then let's do this, right? I mean, with everything being said, then what I can honestly do is, obviously for us, just to give you some clarity and context, everything that we do here is custom. So we like to, make sure that we tailor these automations to, you specifically to make sure that we can essentially help you not save more time, but also help you increase more revenue, right? But it seems like with everything being said, it just seems like it's only really like the administrative side that you need to kind of like figure out. That way you're able to shift that focus from like, the time and energy that you're focused on the administrative side over to like the sales and like the fulfillment, right? So what I can honestly do is I can definitely have my colleague Riley follow up with you with like some resources and everything in general, because I assume you've done the SEO yourself, right? You haven't worked with any third-party service provider?
No, it was a third-party company doing it for me.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. And it was getting too busy, so you just left, or you said, okay.
Yeah, I pulled the plug on it relatively quickly because it was, it was just too much. And you get a bad rep for not calling people back.
Yeah.
If I'm so overwhelmed that I'm out of work at 5 o'clock and then I have to make calls all the way through making dinner, that's just not practical. Or stopping in the middle of the day from work and then taking every single individual call was an option as well. But then nothing gets done.
I've been there, yeah. You're going on shopping and then you're having a good time. Someone calls you and like, oh, I can take this phone call. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And I can hire more people, but we're just not there yet. It's hard to find good workers. So there's a number of staffing issues that need to be overcome before I try something like that again.
Okay.
We're doing really good. Every year it just gets more. You know how these small communities are.
Yeah.
You start doing good work for somebody, and then next thing you know, the people who are doing quality work are staying busy enough. But that administration headache is still there. That's still an issue. Even without, I'm keeping up with it. It's great, but I'm telling you, it's 4:05, and my, that feeling you get in the corner of your eyes, where you're
how much time are you typically like spending per day on like just not the service and like the fulfillment or sales, but like the back end side, just like administrative?
Oh, it's got to be at least an hour and a half a day, which is, it doesn't sound like a lot, but while you're working an 8-hour shift, it is. It's a lot. It takes away from. I need to do a better job of quantifying that time I'm putting in. I'll write down my hours, my fuel, my estimated taxes. What I'm not writing down is how long I'm on the phone with people.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, that's not work, but yeah, it is. It is. If I was paying somebody to do that, I'd be paying them a wage to do that job. So, I write down that I worked 42 hours last week. Well, it was probably more like 47 because of and a lot of times on the weekends I'm just chilling. I'll get a call and I'll say, oh yeah, no problem. I don't mind people calling. I prefer they call on the weekends, but it takes time.
Yeah, for sure. Then let's do this, right? I mean, just everything that we've talked about on this call, what we can honestly do is, I'll definitely have my colleague Riley send you or follow up with you on some like resources just based on this conversation, right? So what she'll probably do is send you over like a few case studies, a few client testimonials of who we've worked with, like within the same industry, right? Sure. Just to give you a little bit more like a clear, like more understanding and like more clarity and context of like how, maybe down the line, when you're able to take on more new clients as well as, have that goal or like that direction of like, okay, I'm definitely looking to scale. I'm definitely looking to hire more people, and I'm definitely looking to have more processes and systems set in place. Then we can definitely always talk about that as well, like down the line. But I'll definitely have my colleague reach out to you. Well, not reach out to you, but definitely just follow you up on like resources that she sends over. But other than that, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, obviously, for us.
So I think that's gonna be the end of the call, guys. I think the biggest thing here, or the biggest takeaways, and I wrote this down as well, is that I believe that the initial goal for this lead was that he didn't really feel like the amount, or I believe, I didn't really get the idea of that, like, look, we can really help this person out. And the last thing that you want to do as a business owner and as a company is that do not force anybody to work with you if they don't need help, or actually, no, do not force anybody to work with you if they don't need help, or if you feel like you can't help them, right? Now, specifically, if you guys were paying attention, is that this lead wanted to essentially just get more, leads to the point where like, he's able to stop them, right? And for us as a company, we focus on volume, and that's not really the name of the game for him right now because, he's kind of like a one-man army. So even if we were to bring in more leads or to automate his processes, it wouldn't really make sense, right? Yes, we can help them automate a few of his processes, but it's not really going to be worth it because he mentioned that he's gone into this full time, but he's also having other things on his plate, right? So I guess like he is full time, but at the same time he's not really full time, right? So yeah, that's essentially what you guys need to do. At the end of the day, right, man? I mean, this guy is a good prospect for sure, but at the end of the day, you have to realize, can you help him 100% or not? If it's 99%, do not take him on as a client. You have to be 100% sure that you can help a lead, a prospect out, because if you can't, what's going to happen is they're going to be mad, they're going to be upset, they're going to be frustrated, probably going to ask you for a refund, and that's not going to be a good sign for the company. So yeah, but yeah, the biggest thing for you guys to learn is that the reason why I did not move this call forward into a closing call is because I didn't really see an alignment. And if you don't have an alignment with the lead, do not try and force to close them. Okay, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions, if you guys want a little bit more like full in-depth video on like me explaining the processes of like all my other videos combined, and just kind of going through my calls and seeing what I can do better on my discoveries and closing calls, let me know in the comments below. But other than that, guys, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.